Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Nathan Ross Rees Reformer Podcast. Today we're in Wollongong here with Rayna Gillott. Is that how I pronounce it correctly? Gillott?
Close enough.
How do you say it?
Gillett.
Gillott. Okay, that sounds good.
Same.
Rayna is the Master and Chief of Pilates Haus, established in 2019. Today I really wanted to get her in to discuss her journey so far because she's like a ghost online. I can't find anything about her. So I really wanted to get some evidence of all the stuff she's done so far, but also get to know a bit more about her story. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So where do we start? Where did your journey begin? Where did your passion come from to get into the industry?
Well, I've always been a lover of movements. So when I was younger, I was a gymnast professionally for quite a long time until injuries held me back in my 20s. And then after that, I was always in managing roles and leadership roles and business roles in a few different companies like Sanity, if you remember that from back in the day. Yeah. And then Virgin Australia, I was there for a really long time. So 17 years. But throughout the leadership roles that I had, I was always still doing, yoga or like a different form of Pilates mat back in the day. A little bit of gym, but not so much anymore. And then I really discovered Pilates probably 25 years ago at a place called Alexa. Have you heard of that? It's been around for a long time, Bondi Junction.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. And I remember paying $20 a week and going to unlimited reformer classes and I just loved it. But it wasn't until sort of maybe 10 years ago that I did my training.
Mm-hmm.
And I did my training just as something on the side, just to something to do with movement because I loved it so much. But I never thought I'd actually open a studio until COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So COVID was the catalyst that started it for me. I was at Virgin Australia and that was, I took redundancy then. And I also had two really little boys, two little kids. So one was 3 months and one was just over 1. So it was quite hectic. And then during that time in redundancy with those little boys, that's when I started to get the idea of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it took about a year to plan. And then as soon as the COVID restrictions lift, I opened my first studio.
Wow.
In Wollongong.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's all so good.
Yeah.
You do seem to have it's interesting when you said that you work with Virgin because now that I can kind of see that image in you, you do seem to present like someone like that. And I actually love Virgin so much. Like I always go with them all the time for all the domestic flights just because I find it's like hassle free and it's just like the lounge is so cool and stuff like that. Stuff you probably implemented.
You can see the flight attendant in me. Yeah, well that gave me a really good skill of customer service. Yeah. And a lot of their training they did, I have been able to transfer into the business and training my team as well. And also, of course, like you've got to really like people to work there, right? Like you really do. I'm glad you can see the flighty in me, Nath. I can still remember the PAs. So that was the start.
Okay, good. And the name Pilates Haus, obviously Haus spelled German.
Mm-hmm.
What's the touch there? Yeah.
Joseph Pilates.
Oh, yeah.
German. Yep. So it took, back and forth with the names, but the house is definitely a little bit of a nod to the founder.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So you started at Alexa and you're doing unlimited classes. So what was that like back then? Like how many reformers did they have? What was the kind of the class style like back then?
I think they had quite a lot for that time. I believe there was about 15 maybe, so quite rare.
Mm-hmm.
It was very traditional. I didn't know any different though.
Yep. Like
footwork, hands in straps, maybe a lunge and that was it with one red spring.
Okay. Hold on.
No, it was fine. I loved it back then and that's why I love Pilates now. So like that was what gave me that that feeling afterwards that everyone knows who goes to Pilates that you just feel so good and you want to go back and keep doing it, right? So during COVID, when the business idea came, there was only one other studio in Wollongong.
Yep.
And that was only 6 years ago. And now there's 50, I would say.
50?
There's a lot.
In the gong?
There's a lot.
What? Oh, my God.
Maybe maybe not so many. Maybe there's about 30, but there's certainly a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. I mean, it is, it's probably like this is like a side note, but I remember I was looking at like Google Maps this last couple of days trying to figure out where everything is, trying to
Mm.
pick hotels and everything. And it's quite compressed, you know what I mean? Because you got the coastline and then you got like this kind of like mountain region where there's not a lot of people
Mm.
living there. So it's all kind of like pushed onto the coast directly. So it's kind of quite dense it seems like it's quite densely populated along the coast in this spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to
It's
have
long.
30 studios kind of packed in around there, that's pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
There's more than what you think. Like where some of my studios are, there's 5 or 6, like just in the vicinity, like walking distance to them. And then you times that by all the suburbs around. There is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you got your first idea for Pilates House, the idea when you're looking at like what modalities you want it to be, did you start off with a more traditional approach similar to Elixir, or did you kind of have your own method or your own vision of what you wanted to teach, or what was it that you wanted to bring to the community here? What kind of exercise offerings?
Well, when I started, I only knew the Alexa version of Pilates.
Mm.
So when I brought Pilates here, that was the only Pilates that anyone knew, and it was the only Pilates that I knew. So I only had myself and then one other person teaching at that studio,
Mm.
and I was working. I was probably teaching about 30 to 40 classes a week.
Oh,
I know
wow. Oh my God.
back then.
Wow.
With one other person. But to answer your question, we did teach what we knew, which was pretty much traditional, very basic. We did do a flow as sorts where we focused on the same muscle group for a few positions and then moved on. But what we do now is completely different to how we started,
Mm.
like what we offer now. But that's all come from learning, feedback, knowing how to get people stronger.
Yep.
Like it's all about evolving
Yeah.
and learning and growing. So what we did then is very different to what we do now.
Okay. So you're saying that there's a demand from the clients to have this a shift in training methodology.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So how it came about is when we started, we were busy. We were waitlisted for at least a year. Like you could not get into a class, which was fantastic, right? It was amazing. But we were the only studio around. So and then after about a year, we sort of noticed that a few people started dropping off and they said, oh, I want to go to the gym. Like basically they came to a plateau. Because if you're not challenging yourself, as you know, from any kind of strength training, if you're not
Mm.
getting overload, you're not getting to fatigue, the muscles aren't adapting and getting stronger. So you come to a plateau.
Yep.
You get a few gains at the beginning and then it just sort of disappears. And that's when you go looking for other things.
Mm.
So it was about that time that I think I probably came across you, perhaps, and a lot to do with RAF at Breathe. Like all these little things started falling into place. And I was like, right, we need to do strength. And then I had a few team come in that were PTs and like all of it evolved organically.
Yep.
But we certainly started to go on that more of a strength journey in Pilates and trying to use the reformer as a piece of gym equipment
Mm.
rather than some flow that looked good but wasn't actually effective.
Yep. Yep. It's a completely different conversation when you start to have set like objectives to try and achieve from an exercise and from a
Mm.
class. Like I find it interesting when people, if they talk about a flow, but load is not a part of the conversation, then
Mm.
it kind of just it doesn't really matter where you go or how you move. But as soon as you start to add load and target muscle groups and then look to get an outcome by like hitting mechanical tension,
Mhm.
then there's like a pathway to do that. It's much more structured.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's less creative. I actually think the creativity is just for a different purpose because you're trying to find like optimal body positions and strategies to get there in a way which is like making the most of the movement. Like you might have like spring tension in the full range of motion.
Mhm.
And not every position can guarantee that. So you kind of like problem solving with the setups to try and make the same exercises work better.
Mhm.
So yeah, I find that the conversations are different depending on the modality that you teach because often one word like flow, like we could talk about flow, but then if you go to a different kind of like school of thought, when you talk about flow there, they have a completely different association to the word.
Mm.
So the same like these kind of industry standard terms have completely different meanings depending on the context you're having the conversation in. I
Hmm.
find it funny. Um, yeah, what do you think about that?
We got rid of the word flow out of everything, out of our whole vocabulary, because people would come in and assume flow was something nice and little laying around, little legs in straps, and that wasn't what we were doing. So
Mm,
it's been a few years to actually change mindset from members, that they're coming in and they're actually working hard now.
mm,
But once they see the results and they see themselves getting stronger, then they get hooked again. But it's a little bit of it's a hard transition for people that have never done it before, because they think that's not Pilates. I don't want to get to too much of that conversation, but
yeah.
like, it is Pilates, but it's just more effective, and we really focus on loading
Yep.
in a simple way.
Yep. Yep.
But we've got a whole new crowd of people now, and it's just different. But I think if we went on that trajectory of just not loading people enough, and they were coming in getting results for you then leaving, I don't think we'd be as big as what we are now with 4 studios.
Mm. Yeah, you kind of have like a revolving door. They
Yes.
come in and they go. Um, but yeah, to be successful long term as a business, you need that client retention, and for
Hmm.
client retention, you need to get return on investment. What's the outcome? If you can guarantee the clients get stronger every time they come, then that's a great return.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Like we have people that just see different. Like they started with maybe 2 kilo weights,
Mm.
and now 5 years later they've got 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's so empowering for them as well. And there's like some of them are in their 40s, 50s, and even older, and they're lifting but heavier now than what they ever have. When I say lifting, I just think they've got more resistance and they're challenging themselves now, which is a better outcome for everyone, I believe. If you've
Mm.
got an hour a day to exercise, you want to make the most of it. We're busy.
Yeah,
I want people. I think you're doing a disservice if someone's coming in, they're not getting what they want, or you're not getting them stronger in your class.
yeah, I think so too. So talk us through when you first started the first studio. So what was it like? How many reformers did you have? Um, how did you promote it? And then you're teaching 40 classes a week. Tell me about it.
The first studio had 8 reformers at the beginning, and that was in Fairy Meadow in Wollongong, in a little bit of an area that's probably it was cheap rent. That's why I got it, but it's also near the main town. We've still got that studio now, which has got 11 reformers in there. So I've done a few renovations, knocked out some walls, made room. So the best thing to do is have more reformers in your space rather than plants and things in the way. Reformers are the best thing. So that's still there now. That's got 11 machines. And then, so I've opened a studio every year. I had a 2-year sort of gap before a new one opened last year. So one in Warilla opened on the second year. So that's near Shore Harbour.
Mhm.
That's got 12 machines. And then we opened another one in Woonona, which has got 14 machines. And then the biggest one now is in Wollongong CBD. That's got 17 machines. And also we have a strength and conditioning room in that space as well,
Mhm.
and a coffee shop. It's more like a one-stop wellness shop, wellness space.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you find that your method of teaching had to adapt as the number of reformers increased?
No. Well, once we started doing strength, when you do strength, you have to simplify everything. Like we don't do anything that's too complex, too balancey, that's not effective, and that takes someone 5 minutes to get into the exercise. And
Yeah.
then there's nothing that they gain from it besides feeling wobbly and not very good about themselves. So I'm very honest. Like you don't want to put someone in a position that they can't really do and they leave feeling like shit. They don't want to come back,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So
right.
everything's very simple,
Yeah.
because if you want to load, generally it's a nice sturdy base that you need to be in.
Yeah.
Like, and then we add some feel good movements in there. But to answer your questions, no, the more machines I find easier, to be honest, to do,
Yep.
because everyone feeds off each other.
Mhm.
You put experienced people in amongst the new people and they look around, and then you've got more of a sort of visual on everyone. But 10 machines to 17, there's really no difference,
Mhm.
in my opinion, of teaching that room,
Yep.
if you know how to do it well.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. The energy too is awesome. You got it's like playing in a full stadium,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they feed off each other. They
Yeah.
feed off your energy, each other's energy, rather than having 4 or 5 people in a space where it's a little quiet and no one really, like, everyone's a
Yeah.
little bit timid. They're worried about people looking at them, which is not which is different to a big room, a big space,
Yeah.
and a good trainer.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to be pretty mobile in the room too, kind of getting around the room, having these one-on-one connections, seeing everything, making
Hmm.
adjustments. I feel like the level of presence required to teach effectively in a larger group, you kind of have to be much more intentional about what you're doing and when you're doing it.
Mm.
And it's kind of like anyone who's kind of got like a lax approach to it, where you're leaning against the wall and you're saying this is not going to work.
No,
No, because you kind
no.
of have to stimulate the room to keep the energy high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've changed so we call our staff coaches. They're coaching people in the room. They're not instructors. They're not standing there reading a class program off a bit of paper.
Mm.
Like they're in amongst people, getting hands on in an appropriate way. Like they're coaching. They're not just giving them a list of things to do.
Yeah.
Like it's more like a PT, for instance,
Yeah.
in an appropriate way.
I didn't know. Yeah, it'd be funny if you said inappropriate way. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. No, I understand.
Tactile feedback.
Yeah. It's just so effective, and sometimes it's the only thing that gets the message through.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think, a lot of people during the COVID time are kind of like, I don't know whether people were banned from doing it or whether people were shamed for doing it. I don't know, but I kind of felt like there was a time where people weren't really teaching new instructors how to do it for a while. It's almost like everyone was trying to not do it, but then it's made a big comeback now from what I've seen.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I agree with that. There was a lot of like it was frowned upon to go too close because of those kind of COVID rules.
Mm.
I remember wearing masks actually for quite a long time teaching classes, and all the clients were in masks. But yeah, no, that's it. You use your words as much as you can, but if you need to get into some tactile feedback to get people in a better position or getting more out of the exercises, then you need to do that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the words just don't land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it kind of allows them to feel what they're meant to feel. So that's easier for them to hold a position if they know what it's meant to feel like.
Yes.
Because if they've never been in it before or if they've never felt it before, then how do you get there? It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's also so fast. You can literally adjust, bang, they're in it. Yeah.
Yes. And client members like it. Like they thank you. I've never felt that properly before, but now I can. And then they remember next time. You don't need to do it next time because they go automatically into it.
Mm.
Yes.
So how are you finding now with so many studios on the coast, like getting really good instructors? I think you've created your own process for that now, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's trial and error as a business owner, and you need to make a lot of mistakes before you figure out what works. So, it's nearly 6 years in business and 4 studios. I used to just hire someone that could teach Pilates, to be honest, like right at the beginning. And, they probably, some of them weren't the best fit. Some of them have been amazing and stayed. But what I've learned in my journey, 'cause we've got 25 trainers now, is that training them in-house is the way to go for us. Firstly, members, they have to be members. I don't hire anyone that's not a member. Yeah, right. I know. It's very, very rare that I would hire someone that's not a member because they're your bread and butter. They know your culture. They're in your culture. Like they love it. They love that shit. So they're the best ones.
Yeah.
Sorry, I do swear quite a bit and I get excited. So members, we've recently started our own teacher training program, which you alluded to before. That's taken years. We got it certified by AusActive, which took a really long time, but it's a really great course. And Shannon, who's my head trainer, amazing guy, he teaches that. So all of our trainers now come out of that course. We pick the ones that are most suitable for the brand, and then we train them in-house still. We mentor them for a good year. And they have pre-programmed classes as well. So we do things a little bit different. And then once they're able to do class planning, then they'll do that after about 12 months.
Yep.
But it just takes the stress off us and them, giving them a plan. They can focus on being present in the room. They can focus on coaching. They don't have to stress and take hours out of their week trying to put a plan together that we might potentially rip it apart a little bit, and it's a little bit disencouraging for them.
Yep.
So we have a system.
It's a different skill.
Yes.
Like teaching an exercise and teaching a class versus putting it together, it's different. So
yes.
I find the same process with training instructors, that it's really good to focus on one thing at a time. So
Mhm.
get really good at the skill of teaching first, and then as soon as you're teaching, then we can start to kind of like build on the understanding of how to do a class, put it together.
100%.
Yeah.
It is a good way to go. And we've only just recently, like it's taken nearly 6 years to get into that area, that space, but it's working really well for us now. We've got some really good trainers and everyone's on the same page. The classes are consistent. We're all teaching strength. There's no, I'm doing it my way.
Mm.
I don't agree with that. That doesn't happen anymore, but I've had years of that to get to this point.
Yep.
So if own a studio and you've got trainers like that, like in-house training or mentoring, definitely members first is the way I found the easiest
Yeah.
and the most effective. I
Yeah.
don't know if there's another way, but I'm constantly looking and searching, and that has landed well for us.
Yeah. It requires more effort up front, but like as soon as they're on board, then it's like zero effort to maintain it. Like
Yes.
whereas the other way, it's like zero effort up front, and there's this constant problems trying to like hold it together, like herding cats, like because everyone's like, I want to go this way. It's like, no, let's go back to what we're trying to do.
Well,
Uh,
it's better for the members because they have a
yeah,
consistent experience amongst all the studios, no matter which one they go to. The warm-ups, like the intro's the same, the
mm,
warm-up's very similar, the cueing's very similar, the music, like everything is the same.
yep,
Obviously, the trainer brings their personality in, which is a really key component, but they're going to feel stronger and get stronger in each class,
yep,
which is the most important thing.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Because there's so many ways to do any exercise, and if you don't have like a system, or if you don't have like a teaching method, then what you're relying on really, without saying it, is you're relying on the systems and teaching methods they learn from their training,
Mm-hmm.
and they all are different. So, like, if
Mm.
you're trying to put together a studio with like 12 different instructors teaching different way, like it's going to be hard for a client to be able to go to any of those classes and get the same kind of experience.
Mm.
So they're going to have to pick a favorite instructor, and then they're going to be kind of limited to when that instructor's teaching. And like, I think in the long run, that's not very scalable because
Mm.
if the popular instructors go, then it's like, well, you can't really replace them because they're teaching their own way. So,
Mm.
but if you have your own system and method that the clients love, it's so easy to train a new trainer how to do that because everyone's doing it. They just do it like them. If you're a new trainer coming to a studio and everyone's different, you're like, well, what should I do? Because everyone teaches differently. So, yeah, it's the only way forward to kind of have a proper system. And it's also something you can be proud of and you can actually articulate what it is, which is nice because a lot of times when you speak to people about what they do, they can't really tell you in detail what it is, like, well, how are we different? I don't know.
Mm.
But if you know exactly how you're different, all the way down from like what you call the exercises to how you set them up and then how you like, what's your loading strategy, then it's like your philosophy and identity is like combined into the teaching.
Mm.
Yeah.
For a business to be successful and have longevity, you need to have a clear definition of your purpose and what you're teaching, and so does the team.
Mm.
And they need to be on board with that as well, because if they all go their different directions, and as you said, your most popular instructor leaves, then as a business owner, you've got to struggle to find someone else to take their place. And it's not the best way for a successful business to run. And I've seen in Wollongong a lot of studios come and go in my time already because they didn't have a clear purpose. They just kind of let you do you be creative and you do what you want as an instructor, and that kind of doesn't that just leads to confusion. Members are confused, trainers are confused, people aren't getting strong. So you need to have a clear purpose, and the whole team need to be on board.
Mm.
And it's also a business that you could potentially sell later on as well.
Mm. Yep, that's right. Yeah,
Mm.
so it's like a formula. I think anything that has a clear system is going to have an advantage,
Mm.
because systems like having an average plan is better than no plan, but system is something you can optimize over time to make it better and better and better. So don't get me started on this stuff right now. I talk about this stuff for hours. You know what I mean? It's so exciting though to be able to. Because I remember standing outside the front of your studio after the first time I came here, and I think you're asking me then about, do you have like a certificate to train trainers? And I was like, you should just do your own.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's so nice to come full circle now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now that's already happened now. So
I actually remember you teasing me because our heaviest dumbbells were 3 kilos
yeah.
and they were pink. Yeah. But no, we no longer do that. But it has, like, it's been people like yourself and like Raf and James Trainery in Adelaide, like you three and a few others have really set us on this path of strength training. Like we look to you and we kind of get sort of advice and little bits here and there, and then we put our own thing together. But you need a good team.
Mm.
Like as we were sort of mentioning before, I used to do 40 classes a week. Now I do like 6.
Yep.
6 classes, but there's a lot of back end stuff. Like I need to free my time and not be in the weeds in order to think about the future.
Mhm.
Like I almost need to clear my mind and like get strategize like 6 to 12 months in advance. And then I've got a team of people that do the day-to-day stuff. I think any business leader that's going to be successful needs to do that. You can't be in amongst the things.
Yeah.
It's too much.
That's quite the transition from 40 classes a week to 4 studios. Like you literally couldn't be everywhere at once anyway, so you have to build a team. So how have you been doing that?
I've one thing that I am pride myself on is finding the right people, and it's a sense, and it's just knowing, sort of getting a gauge of their personality as a member. Like I watch people a lot, and I think about things a lot, and I listen. And if I see them like chatting to people next to it and just a few little bits and pieces that I like, then I'll peg them down to have a conversation about being a trainer at one point. So I generally pick people to work here, or the right people just come into the orbit. But it has taken years to learn how to do that properly, because I used to be a little bit, oh yeah, I'm sure they'll get better. They'll be okay. And you have that inkling that they're not going to be, and you just ignore it.
Yep.
Like I've learned not to do that anymore.
Yep.
I've learned to listen to my instincts a little bit more and only hire people that are the right fit. So the only way that I can do what I do now is to have a good team of people. Like I've got a manager who's Chloe at the CBD studio, and then Shannon is the head trainer that does all the training and mentoring, and then I do all the business stuff. And that's the only way it generally can work for me.
Yep.
With 25 trainers. Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, that's awesome. What qualities do you look for in people? I kind of believe you can't really make someone good. They have to be good, and then you can help them become an instructor, but you can't make someone a good person. Like, you know what I mean? Like if they're not trustworthy, then they're not going to be trustworthy on your team either, you know? So what do you look for?
Good question. Someone who is trainable, able to take on feedback and implement it. So if I give someone feedback and then it's not implemented, and this is a pattern of behavior, then that's a quality that I know that's not going to fit the team. And if someone thinks that their way is better, or that they know better, or they don't want to listen to how we train, then that's a red flag for me as well. There's people that are enthusiastic and trainable, and also that have a knowledge of anatomy and a background in sort of PT or strength is what I look for now. So I try not to have people that are the dancers and the trainers of this world that think it's all about the aesthetics. Like that's not going to fit in our team either.
Yep.
So there's a few things: trainable, able to take on feedback, and someone who's got a knowledge and a passion and likes to talk about getting stronger in anatomy and do exercise themselves as well. Like someone just into the brand is a good fit.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. I mean, people select themselves. If they've come along and done over 100 classes, you know, it's like, well, obviously they like it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
They're probably going to be a pretty good fit.
Yeah. Yeah. If they come to Reformer every day, I mean, there's generally, and they're the ones I want on the team. They definitely have to be members first.
Yep. Good. So now that you've kind of been taking some of these jobs off your hands directly and giving other people responsibility, how was that process for you? Because I know that sometimes people find it really hard to kind of give like
to let go.
Yeah.
Yes, it is hard to let go because you think that you can do everything better. But I've become really good at delegating and giving other people responsibility, because it's really surprising once you do that and you let go, they can actually do it better than you often. Like I surround myself with people that can do it better than me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not the best trainer anymore. I'm not the best one dealing with members anymore. I have other people that are much better than me. The thing that I am good at is the putting the future of the business. Like I'll strategize and I'll get ideas of how to move the business forward and just sort of keep that cog ticking along. But everyone else can do it. Everything else much better than me.
Mhm.
I'm happy to say I don't mind.
That's great.
You got to let go. You can't do everything yourself. Otherwise you end up with burnout and then you end up not enjoying what you're doing anymore.
Yeah,
You know?
that's right. I mean, time's always getting divided between more tasks, then
Mm.
it's hard to bring the same level of like energy and concentration and effectiveness to everything. I think it's a smart thing to do, and it's the only way to grow. Wouldn't you like strategizing? What's that look like as far as a structure or a plan? Are you giving yourself like hours in the week to be somewhere, or or going on trips to find inspiration, or are you
Mhm.
seeking like advice from different people? Like, how do you kind of like get the information together in order to make decisions about the future?
Yeah, good question. We go to other studios a lot, and I'll take Shannon and another trainer usually, and we get some ideas, even just little things like I don't know how the building looks or what they've got in the bathroom. Like you can get ideas from other studios really easily. In business mentoring, I've been doing that with Raf from Breathe for about 5 months now. So he's really good at just coming with different ideas and directions, and he's obviously has been where I've been in the industry before as well. So I think taking advice of someone who has done it better than you is a good thing to do.
Mhm.
So going to studios, doing other classes and getting sort of business advice from someone who has done it before.
Mm.
And often just quiet times as well. Like if there's too much going on in my head because of the day-to-day stuff, I don't have time to sit and think about the business in the future.
Yep.
I need to almost daydream and clear my head and just and it'll come to me in random sort of times, but I need to have space in order to do that.
Mm.
Otherwise it just doesn't come. Could be in the shower, driving, I don't know.
Yep.
Just come to me. But you do need to educate yourself and you don't know everything and you'll never know everything. So you got to keep learning and growing and learning off people that know more than you.
Yep.
That's what I try to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's smart. That's smart because you're taking away all the extra time it would have taken to figure it out by yourself and just getting straight to like
Yeah.
the information, which is valuable. Like that's the purpose of like mentoring and coaching really, is to kind of accelerate the learning curve. I had a really interesting conversation with one of my best friends last night. And he's into music, and when he was going through uni, he took 18 months off, went to LA and decided to get like private mentorships from like the best like keyboard players and guitarists and everything. Ended up making like a crazy network of like professionals. And it wasn't just about learning how to play the instruments better, it was also kind of like getting to know the people.
Mm.
And from that 18 months, he picked up so many skills that by the time he came back to university, all the teachers there were asking him for advice because he was doing stuff that they couldn't do. But they appreciated the skills that he had, but they weren't sure how he was doing it. So like it goes to show that if you put yourself around the best people,
Mm.
you pick up not just like insights into how to be better, but also like the vibes and the perspective and the behaviors,
Yep.
because like, for example, this is my friend Sam, he would go hang out with like let's say like a keyboard player that was like really well known. And Sam previously would only do like maybe 2 hours of practice and be like, oh, I've done my practice, I'm good. But then hanging out with this guy was like doing like a 3-hour session here, and then he'd do like 4 hours with Sam, and then he's got another 5-hour session over here. He's like, man, this guy's doing like, 10 hours in a
Yeah.
day. It's like, I need to sort my shit out. Like I'm not practicing enough, but being around someone who's like that, it kind of like lifts you to be better because you see what they do. So I feel like that's a really smart thing you're doing because you're going around, well, who's someone who's built a lot of successful businesses, I'll just like spend time with them.
Yep.
Who's got some really awesome like studio aesthetics and interesting designs, let's spend time there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to surround yourself with people who are on your level or higher to
Mm.
learn from. So platform over in Adelaide is where James, hello James, is
Hey,
where
James.
Shannon and I went over there, and like he's got an awesome space there. Like he's the catalyst for strength, I think.
Mm.
And then we took a lot of ideas from his. He's got another room that he does. I don't know what it's called, but it's a strength room. It's not reformer, and that's something that we brought back here and made it our own. It's a little bit, it's different to his, but we've got the 2 rooms in our new studio. So we've got
Yep.
reformer, and then you got strength. Like this is strength, like it's a circuit, it's kettlebells, it's a little bit of cardio as well, but it's to complement your reformer.
Yep.
So you can do both.
Yep.
But we got that idea from his studio.
Ah, so
And
you have
him.
treadmills?
We got bikes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
treadmills I'd love, but they're too big. Don't have room for them. So we've got bikes, mat, and then we've got benches with kettlebells and weights.
Yep.
That's what I was trying to get you to do tomorrow. But
Hey, maybe I'll do both.
Do both. Do both. No, it's a great room. People are enjoying that space, and it's dark and the music's on. Like it's kind of a vibe in there. And that again, that's the ideas we got from James.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool.
So it's interesting because that means you're running both like 2 different offerings at the same time potentially.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what's the capacity for the strength space?
21.
21.
And then 17 the reformer.
Yeah.
So it's busy.
Yeah.
When you got 2 rooms running, it's busy. Like it's a big studio though. It's got showers and there's change rooms and lockers and coffee shop at the front. Like it's big.
Mm,
Yeah, that's our flagship store
cool.
studio.
I feel like that kind of capacity, it's pretty awesome for the peak times. You know what I mean? Because like instead of like potentially if you got, I don't know, like 10 machines and then you got a wait list, or you can't really optimize like the intake. But if you got like, 21 here and 17 there and you can get them all in, like it's pretty awesome. You probably wouldn't even have to run as many classes. You could just kind of like optimize the schedule.
Yeah, and this is the thing. So you can only fit a certain amount at a certain time, but people all want to come at the same time, right? Like your peak times of the day. So if you got 2 rooms running at the same time, then that's a great way to be really effective in wages and productivity. And you can have more members coming in as well.
Mm.
Like, so that studio does really well, but it also comes at a cost because the bigger the space, the more the rent, the more the
How did that feel?
Bigger.
How did that feel when you're kind of like looking at bigger spaces and looking at the expectation of a bigger rent? Was it like a challenge to kind of like accept that?
It's yes. I mean, when I first started, I had a really full fear of failure. Like I think most entrepreneurs do. Like, what if it doesn't work? And you've got to get over that and spend some money to make money, But it is. You will have a moment of, what am I signing here? It's a lot of rent. But you got to do a business plan. You got to be smart, and you've got to have everything planned. You can't just not just say yes and not think about or everything else, the expenses and how many members you need. Like you should do a lot of research before you agree to something like that.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it is. It's a lot of expense, but it's working well.
Yeah. I think the way you did it was pretty cool because you kind of built up the others.
Mm-hmm.
So you already had income and you already had like a track record of success. And, potentially if things weren't going perfectly at the new place at the start, you could probably still maintain it based on the incomes of the others.
Yep.
So it's kind of like it's a nice way to build rather than like, rolling the dice and putting it all on black or whatever. Because like if it fails and you don't have any other way to make it work, like that's a pretty hard way to go.
Yeah.
So I think the way you did it, you're kind of growing the business. It's like nice to see that kind of ambition, like to take on a bigger challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. The other 3 studios were certainly piggybacking the new one for a good sort of 6 months, but now it's come into its own.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. They were lifting it up. But you've got to take chances,
Mm. Yeah. So do you see the potential for even a bigger location on the coast? Or do you reckon the population is kind of like, do you reckon it would handle that? What do you reckon?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I think there's a market. I think I wouldn't open any more just reformer studios at this point. I think people are looking for an all-in-one and getting more value for their money. I think they want to come to a space and yes, they want to do some awesome reformer with a good trainer and have that great vibe that we offer, but they also might want to come and do some strength work one day or even, some yoga or a different modality, but in the same space with the same membership.
Yep.
That's what, like an all-in-one inclusive.
Mhm.
That's what I think that the industry is sort of heading towards from feedback and what we've got going on now. Nothing wrong with those little spaces, but I do think that there's those big studios that still offer great community. We can't lose that with the big spaces, but that's certainly what members are looking for.
Mm, that's interesting. I think, I mean, when I had a conversation when I was in the US with Sebastian Legree, and his vision of the future is that mega studios are going to take over.
Mm,
And I mean, it's hard to resist that idea, because if you have the population that can support it, and then
mm.
you have like an all-in-one offer that gives you everything you want, it's pretty hard to turn that down, and if the
Yes.
quality's there too. Because usually what happens, what I've found, is that you'll get these really good startup businesses, and then they'll get into like an expansion phase,
Mm.
and they still have community. They're still run by the people that started it, but then they get like bought out by some corporate, and it just kills the community vibe somehow. Like from the top
Mm,
down, they kind of lose their kind of like culture or soul or something, and just become
mm.
like a shell, and then just kind of like fall off the cliff. Like, so,
Yes. I mean, that can happen. You have to have good processes and structure in place. Community is something we haven't spoken about, but that's another thing that is really important besides having good trainers and having your systems and, a good team in place. Like, you need to help facilitate a good community. And often that's involves, like we acknowledge members for all sorts of things, like member of the month. We have all the milestones.
mhm.
We have community events every month. We have like walk club. We do painting. We do hikes. We go out drinking quite a lot. Like, there's a lot. We do a lot with our members, and that has been something that I didn't anticipate in the beginning. It's been a nice
Mhm.
sort of transition that a lot of our members rely on each other. Like, they make each other accountable for coming to class. So if they're not in a class, like, someone will ask where they are. They'll get a message.
Wow.
Like, that kind of community.
Yep.
Like, you'll probably meet a lot of them tomorrow because they come to that class. But that's you don't underestimate the power of creating a community, because that's going to lift your numbers a lot.
Mm.
Like, they all come to the same class. Like, if you've got our trainers, we do a lot of KPIs with our trainers as well. And one of the KPIs is not only attendance, but are the same people attending each week, like in your class? Have you got a following in your classes?
Mhm.
And that's something we track, which is interesting, because the trainers that have the highest KPIs are the ones that have the following, or the same people coming to their classes all the time.
Mm. Are you tracking that through your booking system?
Yeah, Moments does it.
Okay.
We've recently transitioned to them. They're great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And are you doing like a monthly review with the trainers with KPIs?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
And do you have like internal like goals for like standards you want them to achieve?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we do a lot of that, and that, again, that's been a progression in the last 6 years. But Shannon, who the head trainer, he's got a whole system, the Pilates Haus hub, where trainers log in, they do their own self observation, and then we go in and do an observation. We go into their class. Like, all of our trainers have observation checklists that we go into their classes, and it's not there to tell them, you're doing this wrong, but it's there to say what you're doing great and what you can do even better. So every trainer has the same observation checklist that we go to, and they all have the same thing. Like, they know what's expected of them. It's not a surprise when we
Yep.
come in. It's not a surprise when we talk about what we expect from them, because it's laid out in 5 different measures of a matrix.
Mhm.
Like, it's very specific.
Yep.
But I find that's the best way to keep everyone consistent, and we also reward them as well. For having high attendance, for having the best reviews. Like, all of this gets put into the one system for them, which we've created in house. So yes, and that at Moments, the booking system really helps facilitate that as well. It's a nice, easy transition.
Mm. Man, I have so many like follow-up questions. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to start with there. So, the self, what did you say?
Observation.
Self-observation. What is that? Self-observation.
So our trainers are put into levels. So when they first come out of their training school, they're level 0.
Mm.
And then after about 3 to 6 months, they'll go to level 1, providing they scoring a certain amount on this in this matrix that I'm talking about.
Okay.
And then they get a level 2, and then they get a level 3 senior trainer, and then they're like someone like Shannon, their head trainer.
Yep.
So the matrix that they look at would be graded, say preparation for class, and there'll be like 0, 1, 2, 3. Like, were you organized? Did everyone have their dumbbells before the start time, or were people still fluffing around and stuffing, and really unsure of what was going on? So they're all graded in levels. So if you're a level 2 trainer, then you should be scoring level 2 and above.
Yep.
So there's a grade, there's a matrix, and you can look at it. The self evaluation one is the same one that we look at, but it's a good way for trainers. So we're not just coming in going, this is what we see. They actually get to sit and reflect and look at it and go, actually, you know what? They weren't ready by that time. I didn't have the springs organized. I didn't have the dumbbells on the left-hand side of the reformer. So they get to think about it, and then something they can work on for next time. So it goes both ways.
Yep.
They evaluate themselves, and then we evaluate them, and we see where we're aligned and where we're not aligned. And that's what we work on.
I like it. I think anything that's kind of geared towards making feedback systematic and performance-based, everything works better. Because often if there's been like a big period of time, or maybe the instructor has never received feedback, to receive feedback can be quite confronting.
Yes.
But if you're always getting feedback from the very start, then it's like so normal that it's like you actually want it.
Yeah. And that's key for a good trainer.
Yeah.
They need to be having feedback right from the beginning. So it's not a surprise when they get it. But they also know how to get to the next level, because they need to go to level 2 to level 3. Okay, I look at level 3 grade. I need to do this, and then I can go to the next level. I can get a pay rise. So it's not just guessing, or it's not just because you've been here for 2 years.
Yep.
There's a system and a structure in place, and there's a goal that they can strive to get to for the next one.
I like that, because it kind of makes it way less subjective and way less, because if there isn't a system to get paid more, then, how do you get paid more? Is it just because the owner likes me, or, you know what I mean? It kind of, it's funny because sometimes in that situation, like as an instructor who deserves a pay raise won't ask for one because they find it uncomfortable. And then you get maybe an instructor that doesn't really deserve one will be asking for pay rises all the time. It's like, well, then you got to say no all the time. Like, but if there's a system which clearly says if you achieve these metrics, then you have earned it.
Yeah.
Then it kind of lets everyone know, okay, this is how you do it.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
And again, this has taken a lot of knocks to get to this, because I've had all that stuff. I've had that, can I have a pay rise? Oh, yes, no. Like, it's just all been so confusing and diluted, and that just it doesn't create a really cohesive team either, because it's like, why does that person get this and I get that? So, but it's also, it's a lot to the grades, like it's reviews, it's their attendance as well. Like, are they getting covers all the time, or are they actually doing their classes? That's one thing we know that members like, is the same trainer doing the class. And also things like, housekeeping, are they vacuuming? Like, there's just so many moving parts to it, but we've got it all systemized now, which is sort of the only way that you can have a big team of people and have everyone consistent and happy. We've got a good team now that I hope enjoy what they do, and they also pretty clear in their purpose and our purpose.
Yep.
And it's not who's my friend, or who's just been there the longest.
Yeah. I think in that too, the power of the expectations being clear. I mean, that kind of like it eliminates any kind of miscommunication. It's like, particularly for feedback, like if you want to give feedback to an instructor but they never knew what the expectations were, then how do you expect them to be successful, So that's important. Yeah.
And for a lot of time there, I just assumed people knew what I wanted. You just assume that they know what's in your head, but they don't. And then you wonder why it's not done. Like, these are things that business owners like learn, but you've got to implement it in a system and sort it out in order to grow. It's tough. Business owners, there's a lot. You got to be committed. You got to work hard. I've got 2 like kids, and I'm a single mum, so there's also that, like, your personal life comes into it as well, where you've got to manage that plus the business. But if you systemize and you've got a good team, then you're on your way to managing it all.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you're saying there too is you kind of like get everything out of your head because you already kind of have it figured out, but without it written down for everyone else to know, then how
Yeah,
then to
you just
know.
assume people can read your mind.
Yeah. But that's a process in itself because I think the best way to get clear is to try and write something out because then when you reread it, you're like, what the hell did I just say then?
Mm,
Like it doesn't make sense. The process of refining something in your mind and putting it down, that's the only real way to get a good understanding of what it
mm,
is. Like the I find that process really useful when I'm in trying to write down, my method or systems or approach to teaching and to train a trainer how to do it. Because
mm.
if you just say, "Oh, just do that," what do you mean? How? Like you need to kind of show them the path.
Yep.
But another thing that was really interesting for me, you said, was obviously you have this crazy social schedule for the team, for the community. So tell me, like, what is that schedule? As in, like, are you catching up like once a week, or is it like a monthly thing, or how's it go?
Well, the community now catch up without me.
Oh,
Like
what?
they've got a little Facebook chat and they go and do all of these things. No, they do it on their own now. But we do pre-organized ones, like about once a month we'll do something. Like we have challenges on and then we have something on afterwards. But I it's hard for me to get to everything because I have, children that I look after solely on my own. But the team as well they'll go and do things with the members on their own back, which is great.
It sounds like they've
Like it's
hijacked the
yeah.
system now. They're like, all right, let's do it. We want to see
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, they're really good friends and they go out and they have like we've got a dinner. We've got a dinner tomorrow night after our workshop with them, which is a dress up dinner,
Oh,
which is
really?
at one of their houses. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Actually, maybe we should score you an invite to that.
What's the theme?
Op shop.
Oh.
Op shop dress. We'll find something. Yeah, so it's the community aspect is stops people from leaving. If there's got community there and they've got to be accountable to go to the class and they're having fun in there, like it just creates more members
Mhm.
and people members that stick as well.
Yep.
Because trying to find new members is getting harder and harder if you're a
Yeah.
business owner in Pilates.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure there's metrics out there on the cost per acquisition of a new member.
Which is
Yeah.
a lot more than to keep a member.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the same also if you looked at it, the cost per like acquiring a new instructor, because the amount of training it
Mm,
takes to get someone up to a really good level, it's easier to actually have a good environment and pay them well than it is to try and always replace them with someone who's brand new all the time. I mean, it's good
mm.
to have systems to better replace people, that's for sure. But to actually pay people really well is also really important. Yeah.
Yes, and we provide ongoing training as well. So like we're doing tomorrow, but we're doing a public speaking workshop
Really?
soon. Yeah.
What? Tell me about it.
Well, what I noticed is when new trainers come in is the ability to command the space and speak in a way that motivates or elevates or not elevates the room. Like the members will sort of go to your enthusiasm in your voice. So
Yeah.
if you're monotone and you're slow and you want them to pump it up, like they're just going to match your how you speak,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Definitely.
So someone might be really good at teaching the class and be able to talk about the exercise and the muscles, but their voice isn't up and down, like the inflections are high at the end, or they're just it's just the way they speak. So I've got someone to come in just to talk about voice coaching and speaking and how to use your voice to command the space and how to use your voice to when you want to pump people up. And also when you want them to go slow, your voice needs to be slow as well.
Yeah.
Like it sounds simple, but it's really hard to do, especially if you haven't done it any kind of voice training before or voice
Mhm.
coaching. So yeah, that's a workshop we've got
Yeah.
coming up. Anything
Oh.
we do to enhance people's skills, I'll do it.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's really relevant when you're teaching big group numbers because what people are looking for is a clear description of like not just the movement but how to move. So
Mm.
in the category of how to move is what's the speed of movement, what's the
Mhm.
range of motion,
Yeah.
you know. And if you have a neutral tone, then you're taking away one of the tools you can you provide information on and how it works. Like I really believe in that. Like if you want someone to move slow, speak slowly.
Mhm.
If you want someone to move quick, speak with more intensity, more energy. Because it's like tone lands before the words do.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what made me. I went to a class and it was monotone, and I was like, I don't feel like working hard because I'm not motivated to. And it
Mm.
wasn't the exercise, it was nothing to do with the class plan, but it was just the motivation of the trainer. But they don't
Yep.
even realize they're doing it sometimes. They can't kind of work out what's wrong, but it's coming out of the tone and the inflections and the richness of their voice.
Mhm.
So I think that's a really important skill that some people do really well straight away, and some people just need a little bit extra practice. But it can also help in general life as well,
Mm.
having that kind of voice to command a space or just to talk to anyone, do a
Yep.
speech.
Yeah. So do they actually do like public speaking in the group to practice, or is it more just like telling them like the important things to look out for?
The workshop we're
Yeah.
doing, we haven't done it yet. I've just booked it in, so
Okay.
we're going to work together. But it's more about you go up and talk. Okay, how can we enhance that so it's better
Okay.
for next time?
Great. That's awesome. I love that. That's I think a really good skill in life. I feel like I've seen a statistic somewhere. I don't know if it's true, but more people are afraid of public speaking than death. So
Probably, probably.
But as if you're a master or something like that, I mean, the opportunities would just
Mm,
be incredible because everything's communication, everything's people. If you're a great communicator, everything is available to you. So
mm,
that's something I've been personally like working on. This like one of the reasons for doing the podcast is to try and create environments that require like better communication more regularly. And also been doing like those like uh, video recordings, so you're like talking to the camera and that. And the hard thing about that I found is like doing it in public with people like walking past you and stuff. You're like, it's really like you feel a bit weird sometimes because the judgment coming from within you is like crazy.
mm.
But I think that being good at all these forms of communication, whether it's like on a podcast or in person or like on the phone, like it can't be a disadvantage to be good at all of them. So
It's a muscle that you got to keep working, keep
yeah,
flexing. You've got
yeah,
to practice it, and yes, it's uncomfortable, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to be, and the better you'll be at it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've made like a little routine for myself where I do it like every day now. Um, and I have been inspired by other people that do it. A lot of these guys, people that I generally follow, like some are comedians and some are real estate brokers actually, where they actually just do like a random, like, I don't know, rant or conversation directly with the phone with like no setup. It's
Mm,
authentic as it could be. They could be
yeah.
like literally sitting in the sauna, or they're just like walking along the beach and they're just like talking as a completely normal conversation. And for some reason, I just find that really interesting
Mm,
because it's maybe moving away from like this big production kind of like perfect everything and more just
mm,
like normal and like real, like one take, no editing, just like
mm,
ripping it. So I think maybe that might be a direction of communication that people are more interested in, maybe the authenticity.
mm.
Um, but yeah, I'll keep playing with that. But as a side quest, but yeah, I think that's an amazing idea to kind of bring in someone to kind of lift everyone's game. Because
Mm,
if you sharpen those skills,
mm.
the effectiveness is exponentially increases. It's like, remember a quote saying, if you wanted to cut down a tree, you best spend like the first couple of hours like sharpening the axe rather than like, because that will make it much more
Yeah.
effective as opposed to just like having like a dull axe. So that's the same with communication. In that workshop, you guys are really sharpening those skills.
Mm.
So good job.
Yeah, it's more like that self-doubt creeps into a lot of trainers, and that's what I've noticed. Like they'll come to me and they'll be worried and like, am I good enough? My numbers are down, and then you spiral into this self-doubt. So I think the more tools you can have in your toolbox, and the more training you can do to be confident at your trade, like the better you'll feel about it. But it does take a while to get out of that self-doubt spiral.
Yep.
Like I don't think I know any trainer that hasn't actually gone through that over the years, where they doubt themselves and they need reassurance. But the more training that you can do and make yourself better, like the better it is for you
Hmm.
and also the members. But there's a lot of moving parts to being a trainer. I think people think it's just going to get up there and be easy, but it's not. But
Yep.
it takes time. You need a lot of experience and a lot of hours on the ground to get good.
Yeah.
And you got to allow yourself to get good. You're not going to be good straight away.
And you need good mentors.
Mm,
Yep.
you do, and you got to be able to, if you're not perfect straight away, be okay with that and not give up and quit.
Yep.
Because I've seen that as well.
Mhm.
You just got to be like, okay, reflect, sit on it. how can I be better? Like I've got new trainers that come in and just talk to themselves and like just talk through it all, which I think is really good. Like it's
Mhm.
great if you're in the car talking through an exercise, like the more you say it out loud, the better it'll sound when you actually do it in front of a group of people.
Yep. Um, if you could, just wrapping up now, but if you
Mm.
could provide any advice to like new instructors that maybe are going through a spiral or potentially might in the future, like how do you kind of orientate yourself to get out of that situation?
I think you go to as many classes as you can with trainers that you like and respect and that are better in a way that you can learn from and take pieces of everyone that you go to and then make it your own. Because whatever, if you like their class and you can implement it in your class, then you know it's going to be good because you know
Mm.
you like it. You've experienced it. You've been in the class and it works. So do as many classes as you can. Film yourself. It sounds horrible and it probably is a little scary, but if you see yourself and you can look at it from a different perspective, you're like, oh shit, that sounded like great, or that sounded really bad. That's something I can work on. So there's a lot of self-reflection, and then ask people, like ask members for feedback after your class. You know, what did you like? And a lot of people don't want to give you anything that's, you know, constructive, but you'll often find some people will. So it's just learning, and you're having a really good mentor that will come to your class. When they give you feedback, listen to it and
Mhm.
take it on. It's not there to make you feel like shit or make you feel bad. It's there to help you become a better trainer.
Yep.
So everything we do is to help someone become better at their craft because that's what we want them to succeed. We want them to do well. We want them to have busy classes. Like we want everyone to be great at what they're doing.
Yep.
So everything's with good intention. And if you go somewhere and you're working somewhere and your feedback's not with good intention, which can happen, then go somewhere else. Like
Mm.
work somewhere else.
Yep. Yep. I mean, a lot of people when they come in, from what I've seen,
Mm.
particularly if you know you're coming into a space that doesn't have their own in-house processes or
Mm.
in-house training, and the owner is hiring someone that they don't even really know,
Mm.
often and directly out of a course, and be
Mm.
like, "All right, go for it," and then they start, and they're not getting any kind of support. Like a
Mm.
lot of those people are just crashing and burning, like in real time without any assistance. You know,
Yep.
so at that transition stage when you've done a course and then you're getting into a studio, you really need a really good onboarding process and like a mentorship process. Otherwise, it's just like a lot of people just won't make it, you know. And I
Yep.
find that's kind of sad because I've
Mm.
had trained a couple of trainers through this my studio that had that experience first, where they did crash and burn and their
Mm.
confidence was shot, and it was like don't worry, we'll sort it out. But it's unfortunate you had to go through that, you know. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a terrible start to your career if that's what happens. But
yeah,
I have tips for that people that do their training and want to work somewhere. Like go in and do a class first. The
yeah.
amount of emails I get from people that just say, "I've just done my training. I don't know. I've never met them before. They've never even been to the studio." And they say something like, "I've just done my training and I want to do some covers. Can I be on your covers list?" It's like, well, do you know what we're about? Like, what do
Yeah.
we do? Have you been to a class?
Yeah.
Like, what do you got to offer? Like, are you a good fit? Because like that is the number one mistake I see. Like, I'm not going to hire someone who writes me that kind of email. I want you to come in, be a member, do some classes, and come and talk to me,
Yeah.
and then we can discuss it.
Yeah. And that would actually
Yeah.
that would prevent that problem from happening at all.
Yeah.
That's smart. Yep. I know it's
Mm.
really kind of annoying to receive an email like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's like you don't even really. Sometimes they don't even address it to the owner,
I know. Yeah,
and
that's
then
my.
sometimes they might like have left the last person's name on there.
Yeah.
Like it's just so impersonal that you can tell it's
Yeah.
just a big group message. It's like almost instantly discarded. Like,
Yeah.
definitely don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do not, you won't get a job like that. And even if you do get a job, it's probably going to end in tears. So if it's like you said before, you're not going to get support and mentoring. But like you can find out what type of Pilates they teach as well.
Mm.
You know, like if you're teaching traditional, you know, ballet type Pilates and you come in and want a job here, like with me, then it's certainly not going to work,
Yep.
which I've had before as well.
Yep.
So yeah, do your research, find out the owner's name, go in and chat to them,
Yep.
be a member, do some classes.
Yep.
And ask what your mentoring program is. And if you own a studio, you should have a mentoring program. Or you should at least go to classes and then provide feedback and have framework on how you want your classes to look. So it's really clear.
Yep.
So there's no, I'm doing my own thing and confusion.
Yep. If you're interested in becoming an instructor, you can do that with Rayna.
You
So,
can, yes.
how can people get involved?
So our Pilates House Training Academy, it's in-house in Wollongong. So it's over 4.5 weekends. Our next course is October 10th. And it's a strength-based Pilates reformer course. Yes. It's excellent. Shannon's our head trainer on that. And then we offer mentoring and support afterwards and some opportunities to teach in the studio as well.
Yep. Yep. Get around it, guys. That if you want to have like a guaranteed good entry into the Pilates world, into the instructor career side, you need to have good mentorship and a good system, a good community. So picking someone like Rayna is going to be like a really good place to begin. But I just want to say thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. I love talking about business.
Yeah. I have to do it again. Yeah.
All right.
All the best.
Catch ya. Thank you.